Hey pals, buds, and lovelies. Welcome back to Musing and Musing with
Megan
and Hannah.
Woohoo! Today we're doing Malibu shots. We're about to pour them.
Yeah, and I just want to let the record show that the bathing suit I wear is crisscrossed in the chest region, and the lighting looked really horrible when I looked at the photos and stuff. So I just wanted to get that out.
I lost a nail.
Yeah, but did you lose the cap?
I'll find it. Hey, don't worry about it.
Not really looking forward to tell you. Better dial it back. Don't give me a regular shot. That looked pretty fucking regular.
But I did get the lid though.
That's pretty.
They can't even hear me. Hey.
You didn't even say what you said. She's pouring shots. Jesus fucking Christ, brother. Oh my god. Oh, I'm gonna sip that bitch. I know it's gonna look gross and disgusting that I'm doing that, but I'm gonna sip that. I'm not throwing that entire thing back in one go.
All right, we got the Malibu shots, and we got a beverage over here. We're on our vacation week this week, okay? We're not going to work this week.
I got a Bloody Mary.
So we thought this would be a good week to talk about something serious like the rise of Fox News.
Yeah, this is actually extremely fascinating to learn about. And to notice, like, when it came about, like, the year. Fox News is not even...
Did you write that down? Because I think I forgot that one.
Let me check that out.
if we forgot to put it, I'll put it. Listen, I've been getting really into my editing. I don't know if y'all saw it on the last video, but I'll put the year on the screen.
I'll be back.
She left me. She left me with
my Portugal. Oh, I'm still in the shot. You said I left you, dude. What the what? Were you looking for me? Oh! What? Oh, the year of Fox News. Yeah, we'll get there. I wrote it in like all caps, but that's what? Skull.
I just took a little smippy. It's pretty good.
Did you
It's
say
not bad at all.
Snippy?
Yeah, a little smippy. And we're also.
I got it.
What year was it?
October 1996.
Not. That ain't right.
No, it is.
Are you sure?
Yes, because hold on.
That's the same year I got for the year that the Telecommunications Act was reformed, October of 1996.
Yeah, so Fox News, the name itself, and it actually being what it is, started 1996, but they had all of that stuff.
Because of the Reform Act, you think?
Right. It was like, I think it took a while to get Fox News going. Do you know what I mean? They were like, because they had to do all of
until
these.
There was no rules.
Right.
Because if
they
there
had
was
all
rules,
of these
they
things to check.
exist.
They had a checklist, bro. And Fox News to get the name and do all of that and to have like a CEO of the company was like, that took a while. Oh, you just...
Nice, Billy. All right, we were actually going to start with the Olympics, though. So we'll circle back. First, we got to do this shot. I need you to dial in. I need you to lock in. I need you to do the shot. It's in my hand. I'm ready to go.
For you all YouTube viewers, the way that she was like waiting for me to dial in when she had... I was looking. I am dialed in, bro. I looked up Fox News. Ooh.
Now you're dialed in.
She tried to kill me. Okay, you tip here, okay, and then hit the table, and then you drink it. And I'm not gonna twist it back. I'm not doing that
right now. I thought that was the practice round. We going?
But what the what? What?
Damn,
Practice.
tough start. 4 minutes.
What?
All right.
Can I have some of that?
It's Malibu.
Well, I don't do this. I don't do this.
I was making fun of myself. I know I look worse than you because you're better at controlling your face than I am every time.
I made a face, and I also sipped it, babe. I didn't drink. I told you. I literally said it.
When I say
Everybody heard me.
there is none gone.
When I say I sipped it, I sipped it.
All right.
There was barely any liquid
So I'm
in my
gonna ride
mouth.
this wave. Anyway.
I have been drinking a Bloody Mary before we even started
That is
recording.
true.
So
we also fixed ourselves drinks. So I have
What you got going?
I have a cola.
just a
And it
cola?
has that red stag in it, which is the black cherry Jim Beam. Yeah, I know Hannah doesn't fuck with it.
I don't
like Jim Beam either though, but the cherry in the Coke was pretty good. Yeah.
Taste it?
Well, it's gonna be pretty watered down now. But I really like it in lemonade.
right before it touched my lips, I got the whiff of it first through my nose, and it made me think of my grandpa because this is like
my grandpa liked Beam and Coke as well.
Yeah. So
matter of fact, when I was a kid, I knew how to get that for him.
Yeah,
2 fingers.
Dude, I'm taught at a
and
young
then the rest
age.
Coke.
I know how to pour a drink.
Yep.
Ooh, that one. I got a story. One of my brothers was younger, and to be honest, I don't know the complete facts. I got both sides of the story, and it's in there somewhere. You know what I mean? The truth, okay? But one of my brothers had poured my grandpa like another bourbon and Coke, okay? And my grandpa buys that cheap shit. It like where he can keep drinking it type thing, So it's like
you're talking about Barton's.
No, it's cheaper than very old Barton.
Really?
Yes. So anyway, one of my brothers was fixing a glass of that, and I think what they take it is that he poured too much for like the one glass. But then again, my grandpa and my dad were drinking pretty much like a long time. So my grandpa could have just been shit-faced from drinking that much. And also, my brother may have put a little too much in that one glass.
Probably a combo of both.
That's what I'm saying.
The truth is always in the middle. Unless it's only on one side. You know what I'm saying? No,
I heard both sides of the story. And I was like, you guys are both both dummies. Anyway, fun fact.
Well, what happened? What happened? Like, why did it come? Like, did something happen? And he was like, "Oh, I was too drunk." Like, why did it come up?
Like, he got shit-faced. When they tried to go home. What do you mean? Like, he just was not fucking well, dude. He threw up on the side of the fucking driveway. The way that he was walking, it's like, my grandpa, like, he gets drunk, but that was... And my grandma was pissed, having to drive him home. And then my brother was getting, like, butthurt, because everybody was getting on him. And it was like, well, I mean...
You're an adult man. Quit drinking. You're an adult male.
You asked a child to go fix you a drink. You asked this child to go drink.
You can also taste if something's too strong. So even if he did make it too strong... Which is why
I say he's probably been drinking a long time. So it's like he didn't register how strong of a drink that was either. It was both.
But then that's not...
That's what I'm saying.
The kid's fault. Yeah, I'm on... I don't even know which one of your brothers this is, but I'm on their side.
Well... Which is why this comes up. It's like, this story comes up with the parents, because it's so funny, but it's like, dude, you were being so irresponsible.
Yeah.
And a dick. Anyways.
One time, we're just yapping now, but one time I made my dad a drink, and it was the same drink. It was Beam and Coke. Yeah, that's funny that you call it that, because my family is like, it's always Jim Beam, so they call it Beam and Coke.
My family waves, right? It's like, they want to try the nice stuff, then they'll go in the in-betweeners. Sometimes if you've been drinking heavily, you get that cheap stuff.
My grandpa was
Beam and Coke. That's
cremated.
Cute.
He died last October, right? So last October was...
I don't even know if it was last. I don't think it was last.
You think it was the year before?
Maybe.
Dang. Well, either way, he passed away in October. I think it was 2022.
Okay.
And he was cremated, and at his funeral, which we still had one, even though he was cremated, they put Jim and Beam next to him.
Period.
Jim Beam. And maybe a Coke. That might have also, because he loved it.
My grandpa has dialed back to the Diet Coke. He does Diet Coke.
My grandpa stayed on the regular Coke. He was not about to give that up. But one time, so their hangout was in the basement of my grandma's house.
My grandpa's
and they had like the TV and like the recliner set up. It was like a chair. It was kind of cute actually, because they had one of those chairs that had like the middle seat, which is where sometimes I would sit, and then the 2 chairs that kicked up. Yeah. And my grandpa had his table that had like his things.
Yep, my grandpa has his table.
Dude. He said, "Will you make me a Beam and Coke?" And I did. And I was coming down the stairs and I ate shit. It was similar to the tomato soup incident.
Fuck.
Spilled it down all the stairs. I think the glass broke. Yep.
Oh, little Megan, how old were you?
11, maybe.
Not that little.
Well, I was 24 when I fell with the tomato soup.
Bro, falling is so funny.
Oh my god. Anyways, the Olympics.
Yeah, okay. I thought I had so much to say, but I just don't think it is going to be a lot. But
I have some things to say. I thought a lot about this. So if you drop, I can pick you up.
I will drop.
And I will be there to pick you up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh shit! Yeah, that Malibu's already hidden. There's a drink ingredient list on the There's a drink recipe on the back.
I'm having such a hard time with
Malibu
these
cola? Like, that's stupid, but it sounds good. And then the Malibu pineapple. It's 2 parts pineapple,
You could
1
easily
part
do this Malibu cola
original.
you speak of.
I know, I
You're
have
literally
cola.
drinking
and
cola.
we got Malibu today.
It's cute that they call it cola, because you don't hear people using that too often with Coke.
It's because they couldn't say Coke because it's trademarked. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm too logical and I just miss the point of what people are saying.
No, that wasn't... Like, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Coke, yeah.
I just didn't know that.
I think
that was the main reason.
Cola existed before Coke, I think. I don't know that for a fact. Now I want to know. Talk about the Olympics and I'll find the answer.
I don't know. You guys are not... So for the people who just listened, it's a way that you just were like side-eyed up front because you were like, is that right?
Well, don't listen to me. Say things baselessly even if it's stupid.
That's good.
I think
that's a really good trait to have because a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people like talking out of their ass.
Did Coke come first?
Okay. I want to actually hear this answer before I get into the Olympics. I'm sorry. Did
Cola became popular worldwide after the American pharmacist John Stith Pemberton.
Stith? What a fucking name.
John Stith Pemberton invented Coca-Cola in 1886, which was then imitated by other manufacturers. So Coke came first, and then Cola came later. I wonder if the trademark just died.
When did Coke happen?
1886?
That literally says...
It says Cola became popular worldwide after the American pharmacist John Stith Pemberton invented Coca-Cola, a trademark brand, in 1886.
Right, and I just hate that it... Oh, they shortened it to Coke, and it's Coca.
I think it used to have cocaine in it. You know where that came from, actually? I do know about this. They changed the recipe in the 80s, in the 1980s.
Yep.
And they came out with Coke, and nobody liked it, so they went back to Coca-Cola, but they kept Diet Coke because it tasted better. And then now, if you get Coke Zero, that's the best.
I love Coke Zero.
Yeah. So now I want to know. No, I won't Google it, but I want to know. Was there ever actually cocaine?
So with the Olympics, more than anything, I would like to say that it's weird, like the whole idea of it, when like with what is going on just in the world in general. But if you think about how long the Olympics has been like around, what year I don't even know. Can you look that up too?
It's got to be ancient.
Yeah, like for real. I'm thinking ancient.
I think it started
Grecian
in ancient Greece.
times. I'm curious to see what this exact year is.
That's not true.
That
the
just
first
can't be.
modern Olympic Games were held in Athens, Greece in 1896.
Okay, so what I'm assuming, Megan, is what this is. They had the ancient ones, but then like a lot of shit dropped off, you know? And then everything was starting to be picked back up.
Well, as you can see in some of our previous episodes, the ancient Greeks were freaks. If you look at like the cups and stuff from there was like all kinds of penis and everything.
Yeah.
The first known Olympics were held in the summer of 1776 BC.
Yeah. So fun fact, if anybody plays Assassin's Creed, there's a mission in Assassin's Creed Odyssey where you have to go compete in the Olympics, and it's really cool.
What do you get to do? What
it's like just the wrestling.
I feel like
they oiled
my
them
guess
up.
for the events is like all the track and field events,
Shot put, discus,
wrestling. There was probably no gymnastics.
Discus.
Yeah, that's a track and field event.
Okay.
That's the field part.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying the names.
Wrestling.
There's not much.
There's not much else. I don't think they did much with balls back then. They probably did something with the frisbee. That feels right.
Discus. That's a frisbee.
Yeah, but that's not what yes, but that's not what I'm talking about.
You think they had frisbee in ancient times?
Something similar. Well,
you just don't think discus would just
they had
call
no
it
team
a day?
sports?
I don't know. You would think.
We're about to be doing a lot of Googling.
Oh, you know what? Bold of me to say this. I'd want to talk about ancient Greece next. I want to get into that. We haven't talked about our Greek mythology like shit.
Also, Coke did have cocaine in it. That is true.
And they changed it in the 80s.
I don't know if listen, there's a lot of words in this USA Today article. It's coming here fun. The cocaine in the drink and later its removal presented a delicate public relations problem for the company in its early years. According to the book For God, Country, and Coca-Cola.
Well, it said it. Who was the guy that made that drink? A doctor?
Petith.
Stiff.
Response to USA, a spokesperson for Coca-Cola said the drink does not contain cocaine or any other harmful substance, and cocaine has never been added. Never been an added. That's fake news, y'all. Fake news.
Debunked.
And cocaine has never been an added ingredient in Coca-Cola. The cocaine in the drink was more specifically eccognine, a precursor to cocaine. According to Snopes, it was derived from the extract of the coca plant. Although coca leaves are illegal in the United States, the company still uses them to make their famous drink after they've been decocainized by Stepan Chemical Co. in Maywood, New Jersey, according to Scientific American.
You'd probably get in some big trouble if you didn't do it correctly. I don't know what I'm saying.
Why are we criminalizing so many plants? You know what I'm saying? What are the plants we get some fun plants.
What are the plants doing?
We're just yapping, man. Yeah, that's the Malibu.
So with the Olympics, oh my god, it is they have been around for such a long time, and no matter what, I just think there are going to be problems in the world in general. The severity of them is always going to be different. Granted, right now it's very heavy all across the board. There are just problem after problem in multiple places. But I will say, it being weird to watch, it still is nice seeing the community and
I think this
seeing
Olympic
these people
Games
come together
has been so cute.
That's what I'm getting. Is I've seen plenty of people who are not into or kind of not liking how the Olympics has been handled for certain things, but it's this
what
is
are you
cool
talking about before I open my mouth and yap about it? What did they not like in? Who are we talking about?
Well, I've just seen posts from people about how they're not doing all of the correct COVID precautions that they still should be doing. Things like that. There are minuscule things that are going on at the games.
Okay. Yeah,
things.
I forgot to even think about COVID, to be honest.
Exactly.
And I just had COVID.
Exactly my point. It's not as severe as it was, but there are little things. So you can always be critical, but also recognize that the Olympics is insane that we're still doing it. They did it during fucking Hitler. You know what I mean? It's we're the Olympics are always gonna be going on.
I saw a TikTok of past Olympic stuff and the amount of social stuff that's come up at the Olympics. Literally they had black people competing against people that were blatantly racist against them, and they would be on the podium in gold with their fist raised. I wish I knew exactly who I was talking about. It might have been Jesse Owens.
Yeah, well, that was.
I think that's who I'm talking. I feel pretty positive that it was Jesse Owens, but there's a picture of him standing on the gold, the gold with his fist up, and the other two are sitting there pissed, and it's that's beautiful because it is about athleticism and that.
I fucking beat you. Of the day. Got ya. I wrote with peak form of the athletes. They are just at their absolute best. And it is so fascinating seeing that many human beings at those different sports. That is insane. And not everybody is going to look the same because each sport requires a different type of skill and muscle.
Well, every year the Olympics serves as a reminder of what a healthy body looks like.
Jeez, well said, Megan.
Because you see so many, you see the strengths of what every body type has, which I think is crazy. You see cool. Super slender people, you see bigger people, and all of these people are the peak of what athleticism is, and they all look so different.
Yeah,
which is crazy. That is a beautiful thing. I eat
it up. I love it so much. Ooh,
that picture of Simone Biles and Shaquille O'Neal, for example.
Yes,
those are two people that look so different, but they're both so good at what they do.
Another thing with the bodies, I was watching shot put. And they're they look so big. It's they're just giant people and they look so good. Absolutely insane. Yeah.
This Olympics too has been very woman centric, which I think is I'm gonna make a hot take. I feel like the Barbie movie did a lot for that.
Damn, you really got it.
I just smushed my finger on the corner of this little table here.
That table got her literally before we were recording
back
too.
To the Barbie movie. I feel like the Barbie movie kind of, not even just the movie, but the cultural phenomenon of just women being sweet towards other women. A feminine phenomenon? A feminine phenomenon.
Thank you.
Oh, what? Anyway. I feel like they Simone Biles people have been like, she's always been like very hyped, but like especially this year because she's gotten older and all the stuff with Larry Nassar. Is it Nassar or Nassar? It doesn't matter. Fuck that guy. The guy that was sexually assaulting all the gymnasts,
so many gymnasts.
Health guy, like the guy that was supposed to be doing their physical therapy.
Yeah, to know what you're supposed to do and all that. Yeah,
they got rid of him. They got rid of the coach that was kind of overlooking that, and they seem a lot healthier and happier to me. Like they seem a lot more
like energized and wanting to like be there for the right reasons.
Yes, and
like,
they're a lot more, not that they were ever like not cheering each other on, but they are so supportive of each other this Olympics.
Caring,
and like even other teams, like over the weekend.
That's what I'm loving, is that community and togetherness.
Yeah.
Just the way that they're showing up, not for just their teammates or for themselves. They're showing up for other countries, other people who are competing with them and against them.
Yeah.
It's like that is...
There was that video of Simone Biles bowing down to like the person who got first. And she was from a different country. I don't remember where she was from.
Are you talking about when they're on the podium?
Yeah.
It was Biles
from the beam.
Yeah.
By the way, that beam, something was wrong with that beam. Why do they keep falling off that beam? Anyway, I love gymnastics. But they like bow down to her, and like the competitiveness can be so unhealthy. And for you to see it at the highest level that you can get to as an athlete.
And that's what it looks like.
And they're able to put their competitiveness aside and be kind to each other and like real recognize real, you know? Like it's not...
Yeah, God. Put yourself aside. And congratulate that person, man. They kicked ass. I wrote down that there is so much, not just on themselves, like they're putting the pressure on themselves, but you've got it from the entire world, your entire country, your coaches, your parents. And
that's something to be said about Simone Biles stepping out of the last Olympics too, because she needed to.
There's so much pressure just to medal. And that is only 3 positions. You've got gold, silver, and bronze. And then I was saying that you should just recognize that you actually made it to the Olympics. You have to be insanely good to be called an Olympian. So when somebody like on the announcers are like 4-time Olympian, I'm like, damn, you've done this 4 fucking times. You have put yourself through this pressure 4 times. That's crazy.
Love, Tom Daley, the diver who knits. And he's part of the LGBTQ community.
Like knits really well.
I saw
like those
knitting
sweaters,
super hard.
Like the way he's like, I finished my Olympic one. I was like, all the little details and tiny things he put on there.
It's insane. But I saw a TikTok of him as well. Like he was so baby at his first Olympics. He was so young. Like he looks like such a child. I think he was like 17 or something. Like he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Now he has a partner and a family.
Yeah, dude.
And like the transition, like he's getting better every year. And I'm like, damn, that's beautiful. Oh my God. Yeah, love that for him. And then you see the flip side of it too with like that boxer. That made me feel sick.
Yeah. I hated reading about all of the stuff that was coming out because it just kept going. It was baseless too.
It was. Like that is a cis woman.
That is a point of our like fucking topic of this episode. It's baseless.
Yeah, you had one, I don't even know if it was one, but somebody came forward and like I honestly, like I didn't look into it at a glance, saw a headline and it says man punches woman at the Olympics.
Yeah. And I was like, that's not true.
Excuse me? And then
that's not true.
I saw more about it later. Like I didn't click on it or anything, so I didn't give a shit if somebody got punched at the Olympics. I was like, whatever, grow up.
You're an Olympian. Yeah. I thought you could take that.
I got to the next one and it said like transgender woman. And I was like, they don't let... Like that
was so loud.
I don't think that they would let a transgender woman, like I'm not even going to get into like my opinions on this, but I don't think the Olympics currently lets transgender women compete against cis women. I don't think that's a thing. So I was like, that just can't be true because they're so strict on drugs, like anything, like any type of performance enhancer, which testosterone would be a performance enhancer. They would have caught that.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Well, it's the Olympics. They really are.
Right. They're on that shit. So like the fact that a newspaper article stepped forward and was like transgender woman, I was like, do you even pull your head out of your ass immediately,
what
please?
journalism are you fucking doing right now? So
that's
with that
crazy.
Being said, we did a little research on this documentary.
We did. I still wanted to talk I wanted to talk about the rugby too, the Olympics.
Yeah, no, we can keep going. Talk about like
well,
I've been a rugby fan and it wasn't even because of the USA women's team, so like this is cool.
Well, I'm not like so. My tea with sports is I like to see anybody do something impressive, but I don't give a fuck about like teams. I just don't care. Like
like loyalty and like all that extra stuff.
I think that's a little bit of tism, but like I just can't wrap my brain around like team loyalty. My roommate and I were talking about this
because like I kind of lost that like team loyalty type stuff. Like I like certain teams because of certain people that are on them. So I'm going to support that team because that person's on there. But like. We were watching beach volleyball and I was like, that one is hard because it's just two people on a team.
Yeah.
We have a hard time like watching that and not getting attached. Whereas when I'm watching other sports, I'm watching that because damn, that's just a good team. Like, ooh, that's so fun to watch. It's just a competitive sport that I like watching.
Well, I've made the argument that it's like when I saw what the stat for like kickers on football teams, like how often they miss, I was like, what?
Because it's the one job.
Yeah, I was amazed that Caitlin Clark's like 80% 3-pointer thing was that's considered like very high. Because I was like, what else are you doing? Like, so I have a hard time. Like, I didn't really play sports growing up. I ran track, and I played some sports, but I never like finished a season. And I always was just like, I'm a very athletic person. Like, I'm very good at, like, I have a lot of hand-eye coordination. I'm tall and I'm quick, but I don't give a shit. So it's like, it's just a different thing with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing people just do amazing shit with their bodies is crazy to me, especially women. So I've really been eating up like the women's rugby. It's crazy to me that anyone has ever made the argument that women's sports is not entertaining enough. And I'm so glad that we're seeing like women are like the main character at this Olympics, especially in the USA. I don't know what it's looking like other places, but the turnaround with that is crazy. And like the WNBA getting attention. Yeah, like I'm so glad. Like I did not think in my lifetime that I was going to see women get treated with any amount of respect in an athletic space. I really didn't.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Like growing up.
Oh my God, it's so cool.
I was telling Hannah about this. Like me and my friend Margaret Rose, if you're watching this.
Shout out.
Hey. But me and her used to insert ourselves in the wiffle ball games and people would get so mean to us about it. Like they would just want us out. It was because we were girls. I don't give a shit. It's because we were girls. And they would just want us to get out. And like now seeing the same people respect, because I'm friends with all these people on Facebook still, respect these female athletes. I'm like, you're fucking late, but glad you're here.
But yeah, it is nice to, well, I saw a video of Suni Lee like going up to, and that little boy literally was so excited, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna cry too.
Love to see it.
So sweet.
I love to see women getting the flowers that they have always deserved. Speaking of that, I've also seen like I saw some stuff on TikTok about that girl getting accused of being transgender.
Yeah.
And I've seen that has happened before with Serena Williams was one of them and Brittany Griner. Yeah. And I'm seeing a little bit of a pattern here with the color of these people not being white people. And are they just not performing gender in like a white Eurocentric way enough for you all?
Of course not.
Just out of curiosity, like could that be the problem?
Do you think that's the leading?
Could it be an issue of their gender performance? I don't know. But pull yourselves together. That is a cis woman. And even if it wasn't, shut up. Anyway.
Exactly. Shut up. Ooh.
But it was a cis woman. Like, it's the Olympics. Oh my God.
It's the Olympics. That's where it's gotten like... I'm curious to see with the years to come what the Olympics is gonna do.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that on like the internet.
Oh, I'm not trying to.
I don't have a solution for that. And
that's what
that
I'm
one's
saying.
Gonna be a very nuanced.
I'm like, oh, the years to come.
That's gonna be a very nuanced thing. But yeah, the rise of Fox News.
Scary
stuff. Do y'all want to talk about this? Do you want to give an intro?
Jesus. Warning.
I just feel like I've been yapping for so long.
That's my school stuff again. Jesus. Okay. The brainwashing of my dad. Yeah. We watched a documentary. It's on YouTube, and it's called The Brainwashing of My Dad.
I can link it for you all in the description of this video on Spotify and YouTube.
Yeah. Sorry. I zoned out because I was reading the quote. This isn't even a full quote from it, but it was like the beginning of the documentary was like, quote, pull the wires that control the public mind. And that is the whole...
Yeah.
That is the whole plan.
That was from a PR industry pioneer, the author of Propaganda 1928.
She got it.
Yeah, I wrote them. This was actually a funny thing.
I saw Megan writing it, which is why I was like, don't need to.
Do you want the whole quote? I wrote the whole quote.
See, I was like, do I need the whole quote? Probably not.
Well, this was a funny thing we did because we never had class. Like, we went to high school together. We never had classes together. And I have literally 6 pages of notes here on this documentary.
Yeah, some things I know. I just don't need to write them down.
Yeah. So I know I need to write everything down because my memory sucks. But anyway, so to introduce the documentary, this woman had her dad that she described as a Kennedy Democrat.
Yeah.
So he was like more on the left side of things, but she also said he was pretty apolitical.
That's what it's like. You're very middle.
Yeah, so somebody who doesn't really pay attention but had voted Democrat in the past. So he got to a point where he was kind of insufferable. And she wanted to figure out like what had happened there.
What was like the main factor? Yeah. Like why he just suddenly was like.
I think a lot of us have relatives like that just one day got really angry about everything. Yeah. And it was like, where did this even come from? And you're a white man. So like, what are you complaining about in this country?
Why are you so mad?
Yeah. The things you're complaining about are not real. So I don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
So she was going through that with her dad and kind of did a deep dive on like what it does. And
like big deep dive.
Yeah.
Like impressive. And I love that it's in documentary form.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about this kind of stuff a lot recently because it's crazy how things just spread. Like the transgender thing, like as soon as some people saw that, they got so up in arms about this person that they had never given a shit about boxing in their life. So up in
arms that J.K. Rowling was like, on it.
She's always right at the forefront of all the bullshit, isn't
fast, dude. Oy.
That, and then Chernobyl. I watched that Chernobyl documentary, and that was crazy. We're not going to talk about that with this, so I'll just talk about that real quick. So Chernobyl, everybody knows what happened at Chernobyl. It was like an explosion at a nuclear power plant, and they didn't think that could happen. Did you know that? They didn't know that was possible before Chernobyl happened.
An explosion?
They knew an explosion was possible, but they thought that like the way that it had been designed, it couldn't happen.
How fucking, like, of course we thought that. Of course, we were like, we made the most amazing thing in the world. No way that this could get blown up.
Well, turns out, I probably need to look into this more, but from the documentary, what had happened was they had a way of shutting it down. And like these rods would, I don't understand how like the physics of this works because that is not my strength. But these rods would go into the reactor and just shut it off. But they had tried to cut corners money-wise and put graphite in it, which graphite makes it worse. So what was going to happen, what had happened was they had pushed this reactor because they were told to run a test, and they had people that didn't know what they were doing running the test. And there was one guy, and they were like, we don't want to do it, we don't know what we're doing. And there was one guy in there being like, dude, it's your fucking job. And he was being a real bitch about it. I don't remember what his name was. It was like Jurakov or something like that. But he said, we're going to run the test, and if things go wrong, we'll just shut it down. So that would work normally unless you have pushed it to its absolute limit, because it causes a jump in the reactivity first, and then it shuts it down. But they had pushed it so hard that when they did it, it just exploded. So it needed a space to have a jump and then a down, and it didn't have that space. So, anyways... They knew that this thing had blown up. Like, someone who was working down there told them that it had blown up. They were like, it's gone. Like, blown up. And they were like, no, it's not. He went in there. The scientists knew. Nobody wanted to go in there.
You know how easily I'm about...
Yeah, because the people that were smart were like, I'm not going in there. Like, the radiation's about to be crazy. And, like, when they got politicians involved, the politicians were like, immediately, reaction was to gaslight. So that's crazy. But anyway, that had me thinking about it too, because I was like, the avoidance that we have and just like the way that we just don't want to face facts as a culture.
Like, it's not supposed to be easy.
Yeah.
Okay.
They killed so many people. They killed so many people by just not treating it like it was
like
serious.
How they should have been.
And then eventually when they finally did it had been like a long time and people...
Too much stuff
people got hurt.
Yeah.
And then the country, which I don't know if I'm a little bit confused because it was like USSR and Ukraine.
Okay.
So I don't know if at the time Ukraine was part of the USSR or if it was just the USSR or if it was Ukraine. So I don't know about that.
Iffy.
But the numbers they told people on like how radioactive it was were lies, and it like hindered their ability to clean it up. To just protect, like, I guess, national pride. I don't know.
Seriously.
But yeah, that's crazy. But anyway, the United States has a similar issue with people just believing whatever they see. So we wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
And the brainwashing of my dad.
Yeah, it's actually really, really fascinating. And it seems like such a severe word to use, brainwashing. But, like, it's not. Like, I think
not that hard.
It's easy to do on... an easy level. Like, obviously there are levels to how hard you can brainwash. What it the person that's in the documentary, that doctor, like, there are different types of brainwashing. There was the stealth brainwashing, but then also like the ones that everybody thinks of where it's like the like
sitting
holding
in
your
front of
eyelids
something.
back, like like actually Which this is obviously not what's happening. But
well, I mean, we're all susceptible
to that, dude. I mean,
yeah, if I see a whole bunch of people telling me like a show's good, hey,
say less. I'll check it out.
I'm gonna watch it.
It's worth the check out. I'll do it. I'll do it.
And that's like, even if it's not good, you know, like free thinking is not. Nobody's doing it. You know what I mean? And I don't even mean that in a mean way. Like myself included. Like really everyone likes to think of themselves as a free thinker, but you are 100% influenced by the people around you. By
literally everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump into it with the first big name I've got on here is Roger Ailes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want me to keep going? Or?
I remembered them talking about him, but I don't think I wrote down a lot.
Well, like, I wrote his name down because when I said that it was, like, there were steps to get to Fox being an actual thing in 1996, which seems like not that long ago, which it isn't for a news station like Fox, like, with how they are right now. 1996 doesn't seem like a whole lot of time to get where they got. But the problem is that Roger Ailes, what is this, back in the 70s?
It would have been the 60s. I actually do have notes on him.
Late 60s.
Yeah, because he had to do with the Red Scare.
Late 60s going into the 70s. Yeah. Okay. Because he was the one that, put GOP on the media all about emotion. He was the one that's like, we've got to get the GOP to be a part of this to really, appeal to...
Well, he was the one
with the television and stuff like that.
Nixon... So we had watched a documentary about Watergate a little bit ago. We never even finished it. But so Nixon did lose the presidency because of his debate with Kennedy, where he looked sketchy.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kennedy got elected,
came back,
didn't he?
Right? And he came back and was like after that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, yeah.
So he looked shifty, like, and sweaty and not good.
It just did not look like a healthy man.
Yeah. So that's who came in and got him correct.
And this is like Roger he was Ailes. Able to speak like on air and stuff like that much better.
He essentially gave him media training.
Yes. What is one of the things? It was like you needed short, snappy one-liners to stick in someone's brain. And he had also said that America is dumb and something simple boiled down is what's going to get people to like...
Hey, I think that quote that we saw that was like people don't want to think, are too lazy to think for themselves.
Yeah, they just want to watch it on the fucking TV and hear it. That's it. Which, a lot of people probably do.
Yeah, I actually wrote down a lot about this.
Sit down and watch the fucking TV. Yeah, people lazy and want thinking done for them. And they came up with a motto that was gonna is gonna appeal to people, anybody, and it's called fair and balanced.
Yeah.
So if that is your motto, like, of course you're going to get people to listen to you, already. And then that is just the start of the brainwashing.
Yeah. So the problem with that fair and balanced thing, too, which this was brought up in the documentary as well, is that you have the truth, okay? You have, like, a researched and proven truth.
Backed up with actual, factual evidence.
And then you have the other side, which is what people are like, that just didn't happen. And then if you take a news site and you present those as having equal footing, that is a problem.
Yes.
And, like, that's, like, if you have, like, somebody saying the sky's blue, and, like, that's true, you can see the sky's blue, it's been proven, and then someone going, well, I think it's red. You don't present those two things as equal. You don't present those two as balanced, like both people have a point.
But that is the motto.
But that's what they're doing.
What they're doing. They are presenting it fair and balanced. Yeah, and they're putting them side by side when they should not be side by side at all.
Which is confusing when you... oh, yeah.
Yeah, so then it led into, like, people starting to vote based on, like, not on their self-interest anymore. It was, like, morality, like, with, like, they got a group of people behind stuff. Rather than, like...
they had said that Roger Ailes' thing was he intentionally tried to do, like, politics of division, and he put Nixon behind, like, the traditional family.
Yes.
Like, the traditional white family. Like, man, woman, 2 children.
Kids type vibe, yeah.
White. They must be white.
Yes,
living in, like,
white.
a certain house. The woman is lesser than. The man is the breadwinner.
Hetero man is making the money, coming home to...
Yep.
Like, yes.
And we were getting to a point... at this time period where, like, this was, like, the hippies and everything. Like, things were going very differently.
Okay, like, America was blue across the board type vibe. It's like, oh, like, the right is done. You know, there's just no way. But then it got into, was it 1971? His name is Lewis Powell? Something like that. Wrote a memo for how the right can get back on the board type thing and what they need to accomplish in, like, checklist vibe.
Lying.
Right. So it's like getting the wealthy conservatives to, like, back certain things, like to appoint conservative professors in colleges and schools, to get behind publishing houses for your books. You needed to appeal to multiple different groups of people, like, and buying the media, right? Propaganda in schools, like, they were like, we needed, if you get all these little things, then it all just will work out for them.
They literally looked at the Nazis' model of propaganda
no joke,
to get
they
this done,
did.
by the way.
For fucking real, they did.
Which, that worked like a charm too, didn't it?
Damn, scary.
Propaganda is scary.
It's so strong. It's so strong.
And it works.
And it works on everybody. Oh.
Gosh.
Yeah, dude. Fucking conservative think tanks. I wrote, conservative think tank equals kicking ass. Dude. Yeah,
oh my
okay.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up in my notes.
Yeah, so sorry. Since we wrote, like, I wrote such a smaller amount, there are little tiny details, which you can add in with yours if you want.
I pretty much wrote the same thing over and over again. I did write that little... This part was important to me. So, like, this guy who... pretty much laid the groundwork for Fox News, was a big part of Nixon's campaign.
Yes.
Which Nixon is known, obviously, for being, like, a dirty politician. Like, that is his whole thing. So he had to lie, cheat, and steal his way into office, essentially. Which is kind of what he did. And I wrote down that thing about the construction workers.
This was so fucked up, bro.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, I don't know this tiny little... That got us all.
This ice cube just popped so loud.
I thought it was a ghost.
We've all seen that picture of that girl, like, next to her boyfriend's dead body at Kent State, like, screaming, crying into the air. I'll put the picture on the screen. But they were protesting the Vietnam War, and a lot of the like, veterans from Vietnam were kind of bullied because the media, not the media, but, like, the popular opinion of the United States was like, that we shouldn't have been involved in the Vietnam War, which that is not drafted people's faults. I will say that. Like, the soldiers were not...
Yeah, it was a draft.
It was
like, you had to
drafted.
do that.
But construction workers got so pissed, and this comes from the pandering to, like, the white men and making them feel like they're...
angry.
Yeah,
it's
making them feel like everyone's out to get them.
Are the reason that you are not blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's actually not how it goes.
Right.
It's not these people. It's the ones over here, up here.
Yeah, they deflect blame to, like, women and people of color.
Right.
And, yeah. So these construction workers came to a protest at Kent State.
Because of the Kent State shooting.
And started beating people with their construction hats.
With their fucking hard hats.
Yep. And then Nixon got up and put on a hat. A hard hat. And
the leader of the group or what gave it to him. Like a nice, like, yeah. And he put it on. There's a picture of it.
And pretty much signed off on that being okay. Which made me think of the Proud Boys.
Yep.
The Donald Trump, like, with their stupid fucking tiki torches. Where history just keeps repeating itself. It just keeps going on, doesn't it?
Over and over.
But yeah, the whole point was to pander to white men and make them feel like everyone was out to get them.
Yep.
And that's usually who you see get got by this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, white women too, but I think that comes from their husbands.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep. Gosh. And Ronald Reagan.
Gosh.
I can find a way to connect anything to Ronald
That's what
Reagan.
I'm saying. Like, so really quick, it was like when they were, see, I have this, like, the journalism thing, and then we've got to Reaganomics. About to get into that.
Don't get me started on Reaganomics.
Well, hey, we got to. I got to get you a little started on it.
I know.
This seems like boring to talk about because of like the words we're using and all of that, but it's like so important and it's so not. So that's why even if you don't want to listen to this entire this episode or whatever, we're gonna put that documentary out.
You should really watch that documentary
because you're just watching a movie. You can take it in that way. It's so fascinating. But the ideal goal of journalism was objectivity. So the conservatives is like how you presented it in the balanced way, what they were talking about. So if you showed both of it, but like the conservatives also had their scientist or whatever, like it was shown in a balanced way. So it was like you thought you were getting both sides of it, but truly that side is just not real.
They barely also, like Fox News at the time, they were a little bit better about it, but Fox News today does not give you any real facts.
But like even at that time,
anything that doesn't support their agenda, they're not going to tell you
ever. The way that they were on top, I had like media organizations, the legal organizations, they had advocacy groups. They were making sure they got everything. Dude, these bitches were smart.
Yep.
And then that led into Reagan and trickle down economics.
Trickle-down economics about to piss me off.
Explaining that to somebody and calling like trickle down, because it's just like if this does well, then it's just going to trickle down and everybody's going to be happy, and that is just not.
You know what happened with that during Reagan's time in office? The poor got poorer and the rich got richer, which is what happens.
It didn't trickle
when you think that that's going to happen. It does not happen.
It hurts.
I also thought this was interesting. I wrote this down. They have, like, right-wing media always has a cycle of, like, a golden age. Do you remember them talking about this?
Yeah.
And when Reagan was running, they used the 1900s. They were like, people were working hard. Everyone was fed.
We
literally
mean, like,
the year 1900.
Like, yes, 1900. Like, when no woman had a right, nobody had rights except white men. White cis man.
And that's who they're pandering to.
It was.
Yep.
1900s is so long ago.
And then Trump now uses the 1950s.
Yeah.
As his, like. And
that
was also before women could have credit cards, by the way. Just to say.
When did that happen? Like 60s, 70s, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1900. Apex. So I circled.
While Reagan was in office, he also dropped the Fairness Doctrine, which before we started, I looked up exactly what the Fairness Doctrine was.
To get the word for word.
Yeah.
What is this?
So the point of it was...
1949 is when the law... That's what I was looking at the...
It was the 80s, man.
I thought they got rid of it.
In the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was a law in 1949. So I was getting the start date for you guys. Is that it wasn't even around that long.
Yeah, so he dropped it in the 80s. And the point of it was that it mandated broadcast networks to devote time to contrasting views on issues of public importance.
So it was trying to give you...
Yeah. The Republican Party knew for a fact that if they kept having to give the facts... if the media couldn't poison people's brains, nobody was going to stick around. Because being a Republican isn't good for anybody.
It actually isn't. Yeah.
Unless you're like a rich, white, cisgender man, being a Republican is bad for you. Like, it just
doesn't work out for you. Even those people that are so fucking sure that it is good for you. Hey, it really, really isn't.
And after that happened... That's when Rush Limbaugh came in and made Talk News Radio national.
Yeah. Yeah. For the masses. So everybody could get brainwashed.
Yep. And I wrote down I pulled up on my laptop some of Rush Limbaugh's better moments.
This will be good. Yes.
Which, if you don't know who Rush Limbaugh is, if you think of like Ben Shapiro, which everyone probably knows who Ben Shapiro is, it was kind of him before him. Which I actually think he was more respected, because I think Ben Shapiro kind of gets made fun of now by everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Rush had a much more...
He was bigger.
He was a man. Yeah,
he was a guy with a talk show.
Cigar smoker, big time man.
So yeah, this is on People. The number one, he began airing Barack the Magic Negro, a racist parody song about the then Senator Barack Obama's popularity with many white voters in 2007. Barack the Magic Negro.
2007, dude. And there was some from like 2011, 2012. Like he will forever have some shit to say. He's not here no more.
This is on his book, which he called The Most Dangerous Man in America, Rush Limbaugh's Assault on Reason. The host? Oh, no, that's not his book. That's not his book.
But that's it is.
John
It's an
K.
assault
Wilson.
on reason.
It so is. What did they say in the documentary? He said that there is more forest now than there was when Columbus landed in the United States.
Yes. What? Hey. What?
What? If you think about that for more than a second,
like seriously, actually, just think about it. What he just said.
But people were eating it up,
They were.
It's because the
his
algorithm,
conviction, his confidence, yes, and the way that
to make you angry.
They were always airing stuff like, yeah, dude. What did they call them? They had people.
Ditto heads.
Ditto heads. Yeah.
Ditto heads because they
They
go
would like
major
call
dittos.
in. Yeah, they'd call and say mega dittos
Mega
rush.
dittos.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh
Okay, this is
God.
from his book. And his Undeniable Truths.
Undeniable Truths is the title, guys.
Written as part of an article for the Sacramento Union in 1988, Rimbaud wrote, "Feminism was established so as to allow unattractive women access to the mainstream of society." In later updated versions, he wrote, "The Earth's ecosystem is not fragile. Women should not be allowed on juries where the accused is a stud." And I had to look this one up because I actually didn't know about this. The Los Angeles riots were not caused by the Rodney King verdict. The Los Angeles riots were caused by rioters. That made me feel sick.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, who's Rodney King? So I had to look that up. He killed it was a black man who was killed by police brutality the same year as Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, just a few months after.
So that shit just keeps happening. That's sickening. Anyway.
Yeah, he had a lot of nasty shit. A lot of nasty, dumb shit to say.
Ooh, this one's extra bad. This was on the Rush Limbaugh show in 2004.
Oh, God.
You ready for this?
No.
I think it's time to get rid of this whole National Basketball Association, call it the TBA, the Thug Basketball Association, and stop calling them teams, call them gangs. Rush Limbaugh in 2004.
It's like years. Like, it's just like, nothing changes.
This one's kind of funny. Like, it's not funny. This was in 2013. 2013! Year after Trayvon Martin got killed.
Okay.
If any race of people should not have guilt about slavery,
okay.
it's Caucasians.
Oh.
The white race has probably had fewer slaves and for a briefer period of time than any other in the history of the world.
I mean, dude. Like, like, everybody knows, that is just not true. That is just not right. That is just not a fact.
So this is the guy that got talk radio to go national and that people were tuning into.
He had like a 3-hour show, bro. 3 hours.
He started going overnight. Like, this woman talked about her dad.
Getting like a streamer.
Listening overnight. Yeah, essentially.
Yes. Like, had the headset. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Well, anyways, yes, made it national, so literally it was available to everybody. It was almost cult-like, one would say, once you started really getting into that side of, like, politics, when it really isn't even politics. Dude, it's not. Oh, my tummy just growled. I'm sorry.
No, it's painful.
Starting to zone out. Yeah, okay, do you want to talk about the Telecommunications Act, or the Reform Act?
Okay, so in 1996, Clinton passed the Telecommunications Reform Act, and it essentially made media conglomerates possible. Which, this is another funny thing. I looked up what this meant.
This would be really cool.
Yeah. And they had like an archived website from when Bill Clinton was in office.
Weird.
It looks very weird. Yeah. So the way that they tried to like reframe it, which is crazy how this works in the media, because you can honestly, if you take anything and reframe it, which I honestly wrote down some, So somebody had said that like right-wing media would take drilling for oil, call it energy exploration.
What sounds better to you guys? You sound more like an asshole if you do the other one, right?
Healthcare reform to government health takeover. So they just try to scare people.
It's like however you want somebody to lean. They're going to be scared of the bad stuff. And like, so like, the fear was it was already there. So all they had to do was phrase it that way and be like, oh my God, no.
Yeah. So this is what Clinton's office put out on their official website. And like the website looks so old, and it has a disclaimer at the top that said this is historical material frozen in time. So this is from the day it was passed. It says, a short summary of the Telecommunications Reform Act of 1996. For the past 3 years, President Clinton and Vice President Gore have worked for telecommunications reform that stimulates private investment, promotes competition, protects diversity of viewpoints and voices among the media, provides families with technologies to help them control the kinds of television programs that come into their homes, and strengthens and improves universal service so that Americans can have access to the benefits of the information superhighway. With the passage of the Telecommunications Reform Act of 1996, this important national goal has been met. So they made it so what it does,
it sounds
essentially.
So good. Yeah, let's go ahead and tell them what it really
it just makes it possible, way more possible, for the media to just lie to people.
How I wrote it was gave away the media to these fat companies. That's how I wrote it, because essentially that's what it was. That sounds so nice on that website and such a positive spin, but there was a lot more negative to it.
Yeah, of course they knew how to spin it, and that was the same year that was passed, was when Fox News came to be. Yes,
in October of 1996, so the latter end of the year. Ooh.
So then after they gave us all that background, so essentially what happened with Fox News is the Republican Party saw they were losing.
It was a slow start, but they made a checklist.
Yeah, they made a checklist. They were like, how can we get more people to be Republicans, like especially young people, because young people are never going to want to go that way.
Right.
And they were like, well, we have to do something with the media, indoctrinate people, get them to believe what we're telling them, even though it's like against their better interests. So they essentially looked into brainwashing and how to do it, which they kind of walked us through in the documentary how brainwashing works, so we can talk about that. But there were steps. So it's usually thought to be by force, but sometimes it's accidental, which I've been trying to keep an eye on this for myself, because Kamala Harris is getting me a little too well, okay, with the memes, and like she definitely got someone of our age to run her shit. I'm still gonna vote for her, obviously, but I'm like, don't love her, she's a public servant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, yeah, do your job, man. Do your job.
What you gotta do. I'm gonna vote for her. But anyway, so the psychology of it is insane. They use a lot of confirmation bias. So they play to people's, like, insecurities or their fears.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first step, isolation. So that's why Fox News, you get on Fox News or Rush Limbaugh's show or any of these other, like, precursors to what Fox News currently is, and they're going to tell you you cannot trust any other media news. You cannot trust them. They're going to lie to you.
Yeah. Over and over, they're saying that.
Mm-hmm. And they use control, similar to what I was just saying, and uncertainty. So people don't know what's going on, really. Like, you have to go to the news to figure out what's going on in the world.
The uncertainty part is, like, obviously where it comes with the fear and this, like, you're scared of the unknown. Yeah, and like so.
And then you get repetition, which Fox News is incredibly repetitious.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
All day, every day. They'll repeat it. They'll have a story, like, going over and over again.
And they try to rile people up. And that's comes to step 5, strong emotions.
And more than anything, it's going to be anger.
Yep. And that's something they also talked about.
Crazy.
That. Anger creates a stress response that causes a release of endorphins. So you can get addicted to being angry about things.
Right.
And then you get on there and you're angry with a bunch of other people, and that creates a sense of community with anger.
Somebody being like, if you listen to Rush Limbaugh for 3 hours, so you're going to listen to that and you're going to get so pissed off and angry. And then you're going to want to talk about it with people, and you're all pissed off and angry.
Yep. And
you're just riled up.
Victimizing yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is, they included this quote from Joseph Goebbels, which is the Nazi propagandist.
Minister of propaganda? Was that I think his job? Yeah. Minister of propaganda? Yeah.
Yeah. He said, if you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. So there's that part. And I did watch a documentary. We're running out of time. But I watched a documentary called Normal People on Netflix, which y'all should watch.
Oh, yeah.
And it talks about, like, how they got these, like, because Nazis, the people that became Nazis were just Germans before they were Nazis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it talked about how they got these normal people to commit such atrocious acts. And come to find out, did not know this, there was really no consequences for if they told you to go shoot a Jewish person in the head and one of the Nazis was like not doing it, they would have to clean a toilet. There was no like, it was not crazy is what I'm saying. Like there was no like
the military or government's like repercussions was not like you're not dying.
Yeah.
You're not.
The main repercussions were from the other Nazis because they went to them and told them like nobody wanted to do the job of like the mass shootings because that sucks. Like even if you hate the person you're killing, you don't want to shoot anybody in the head. It takes a toll
on somebody no matter what.
Yeah. And so they told them, they were like, either you do it or someone else is going to have to do it. So they felt like they were the victim. I do it. Yeah. There was diary entries of them saying that they felt like they were having it worse, that they said that they had the dirtiest job and that like they actually were suffering more than the Jewish people were. That's what they said in their diaries. And they would get pissed when people would refuse because they were like, oh, you're going to make someone else have to do it. And like the social consequences were their biggest thing, which to me, that was crazy. And I was like, damn. And they really felt like they were victims of this situation
that were committed with that.
So anyway, not to compare like Fox News to the Nazis, but I mean, it is propaganda.
Propaganda is propaganda. Ways. So the severity will change.
Or where it goes. Yeah. But yeah. So I wrote down some other points. Fox News gives sources with no info on how to find the source, like what study was done. They just talk out their butts.
Yep. It just is out there.
Yeah. They also intentionally make renewable resources seem finite. So I wrote down like joy and rights. Those are not finite resources. You know what I mean? Like we can all have them.
Yeah, man.
And they seem to think that like not everybody can have them.
I literally just read, I wish I had remembered who said it. It was a quote I just read before I was even coming over here. Somebody was like talking about a pie. They were like talking about like if rights was like a pie. And it's like, it's big enough for everybody. Everybody gets to have a slice of pie. Why
it's not a pie because you can make a bigger pie. You know what I mean? Like everybody, that's the same thing with like the gay stuff. Like I wrote down the gay stuff. I wrote down like this quote from that guy that goes around. I know y'all know what I'm talking about, where he goes to like MAGA rallies and asks them questions and like essentially like kind of just makes them look stupid. But there was one where he was like, so gay people want to get married. And he said, oh, I just don't understand why they want more. They just want more rights. And he was like, by more rights, do you mean equal rights? And they were like,
having the same amount.
Yeah, I guess. But it's like the use of language is crazy.
Which is why I said the pie. We all get it.
Yeah,
it's
we can all get
slices. That's when everybody gets some.
Yeah. But I mean, a pie, I don't like that analogy because a pie is finite.
I knew I couldn't get it. Knew I couldn't have it.
You will eventually run out of a pie. But anyway.
You guys want to know that quote? You guys want to know the quote for the episode? Is it too early? Is that too early?
We're at an hour and 2 minutes.
Damn, guys. Longer than the last one.
Yep.
Okay. I did too. And they were my grandparents. I wanted to show two different sides, just with what they say, what comes out of their mouths. So this was on the same day, and it was a Thanksgiving day. Okay, set the scene. My nana said, "Rubs my brain wrong." Hilarious. Yep. Yeah, have also been. I was like, I gotta write that down. And then same day, a little later, my grandma was like, "Is that wine with the straw?" Yes, Grandma.
Who's
yes, it is.
Straw wine.
Me. It was me. She was talking to me.
Hey, red wine will stay in your teeth, though.
Hence the straw.
Yeah, straw. Use a straw.
So, those are my quotes.
I hope this episode is usable.
Damn, I hope so too. That's long recording for it not being useful.
We have time to redo it.
We don't.